we're gonna go over some more Nogi footage from yesterday on Saturday. We had a decent turnout, so yeah, let's get into it. Footage, go. So we got Pat and Justin here up front. We got the walkers over on the side with Braden going to a kind of like a dorsal Kimura position and then setting up the scissor strangle with the legs. We should show them the side triangle. I don't know. So I need to familiarize myself with like some of the kids' rules for competition as far as like what subs they're allowed to do. But I feel like a side triangle should be permitted. So boys, if you remember, ask us at class to go over the side triangle with you. It's a good thing to do from that position you were just in. I think even more effective than the scissor strangle.
Heavy collar ties by Pat. Curious to see how Justin's going to take this.
Yeah, and it looks like he's really just taking it, which the bad part of that is you end up wearing nice trip. You end up wearing the guy's weight.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's how we snuck that in. Yeah, super simple. He's getting Justin rotating to his right here, and then as Justin goes to step, he just prevents him from stepping. So a little push with the collar tie, blocks that leg, and gets a nice, clean little trip.
Yeah, that was very nice. You and Victoria are on the mats?
Yeah, which we end up going over pin escapes.
Yeah, there are two Justins now, so we're gonna have to.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna have to be careful with that one.
Oh wait, why isn't it? The chat's not showing up in the thing again. Hold on 1 second. Let me try something. Does it show up over here? No. Looks like we might be without the chat on the stream today. Oh well. I'll try to keep an eye on it.
What did Pat wind up getting on that? I think it was probably like an Ezekiel or Nogi Ezekiel.
Okay, so kind of captured the knees there with his legs. Yeah, it's hard to.
Really like that. I as simple as it is, it can be very effective if you're catching somebody trying to hop in that position. The reason I say that, I've been caught there myself, right? Like I'll try and be cheeky and just trying to like hop into a mount, and you get your knees too close together, and if somebody's ready for it, they'll just take you right over.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. What's up, James? Now I got the chat. We just needed James to start it.
Yeah, he had to prime the pump.
So yeah, I couldn't see what grip Pat took there.
Yeah, it could even been, yeah, I don't know. Could be
Smother, yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, Joe?
What's up, Joe?
The one time Steven calls you out for your drinking on the stream, and it doesn't even show up in the chat. Just realized.
Yeah.
Damn, Gavin.
What was that?
What Gavin did?
Yeah.
So let's see. It looks like
later. Yeah. Okay.
So it looks like Braden's kind of going like he's I don't know. This is a tough one. So it's like it's kind of like a knee tap, but he doesn't get or I'm sorry, a knee pick, but he doesn't get Gavin's left knee under control here. So Gavin is able to continue circling, and as he does, he just sits into it, takes his brother down by the head, gets a little like Tomonagi. Looks like he rolled straight up to mount from there, but
Yeah.
hard to tell. Yeah, I think he's in mount right now, behind me. Yeah, the Murder Twins.
The Murder Twins.
Which
yeah.
shout out to them. They subscribed for 6 months. So to the Walkers, we greatly appreciate the support.
Yes,
and the
thank you so much.
ongoing enthusiasm to hurt each other.
Look at this. Very nice. The knees are being. I'd like to see a little bit more knee pinch here, but you know, great recognizing that the dorsal Kimura is there and the whole setup.
Yeah, and that's the exact same position I was talking about, like looking for the side triangle.
Yep.
Instead of just the scissor lock on the legs. Meanwhile, we got Cole and Ronnie.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, wait, here, Gavin sits through in the way of everything. Gavin's sitting through into Kesa. Braden's he was about to slip out the back. Let's check on with Cole and Ronnie here. Because Ronnie is in the makings of a triangle.
Yep.
I think we all know how difficult it is to triangle her, though. She's really good at smashing out of them. And then Steven, is that Steven and Duncan? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like
I think
Cole and Ronnie are just chatting.
Veronica's walking Cole through it a little bit.
Yeah. Cole had a sweep here. Oh. Cole working from butterfly guard. Two on one over the back. That was sick. That was really nice.
That was. I really like that. He reaches up over top of the head, reaches for the far lat with the head trapped.
I like how he climbed up the body here, like from the 2-on-1,
yes.
like that arm drag grip, and then gets his grip over the body, elbow down.
Yep. Yeah, it was a very nice. Yeah, good call out, Joe.
And then Duncan putting in some work up top here. It looked like Steven was trying to go for like an Uchimata or like a hip toss or something. He steps over, and Duncan takes the opportunity to slip around the back. Oh, but he leaves his knee. There you go. He got it back, though.
For now.
Steven's still on it, yeah.
Steven's like a shark, blood in the water. Like,
The legs, yeah.
he finds the leg and, yeah.
Next week, we'll be on to half guard. And then we have Danny and Pat down here, which I haven't forgotten about. Damn, Steven and Duncan are having a good little scramble. Looks like Duncan didn't have his hooks in, so he ends up getting tossed over the top.
I feel like Duncan is just he like loses confidence when he is getting, because I've seen him do this with more than just Steven here, but like he'll flip somebody over, get him to a hip, and then just not following up, right? And
Yeah.
like that's the perfect time. I know Steven's got a good grip on the legs and stuff, but I really like for Duncan to be, trying to feed his arms in front of Steven's shoulders, trying to sprawl out, get up to his knees, and start to try and advance position rather than falling back and settling for this bottom position.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a level of aggression, and like I think we've talked about it in the past. I know earlier this year I was really, really big on like just the mentality of not accepting bottom position anymore. Obviously, I get put in bottom position, but there's like in dealing with guys like Caleb and Luke, Cole, like since Cole started ratcheting up his mount attacking, like I had to tell myself not to just settle for bottom position and working from there. It was like, no, if you're gonna pin me, you're gonna earn it. And that's the kind of thing, Duncan, you should try to make sure you're thinking as you're going on through these roles. Obviously, if you're working on like some bottom techniques or whatever, then that's one thing. But when you're having a nice aggressive match with Steven or something, just put him on his back. Don't let him get up. Really good armbar defense right now. Let's see if Steven rolls through on this. This is great. Flip him over. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Up into the triangle.
He's playing. Yeah.
To the Americana.
That looks pretty terrible.
Yeah. Duncan put on a hell of a fight for that. He made him earn that one. Yeah, we know, James. That was killer. So, quick summary of this. So, even this is good. So Steven working from north-south here, getting that leg over the head, similar to like how you would finish a Kimura, gives you pretty good control, somewhat good control over the shoulders. It makes it difficult for them to hide their back, which is great for a Kimura, which it looked like Steven was initially going for, but he settles into the armbar with kind of bad leg position. Like he doesn't have a leg over the face. He's got that like, I think you call it like a quarter juji.
Well, yeah, but hang on, check it out. Like his left leg is actually like he kind of has a figure of four here, and his left leg is in Duncan's right shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a really, and I think that's what sets him up for the next transition here. It's almost like he's got like a 3/4 juji, but not. I don't know.
Yeah, like this is such a, I don't know, it's not a commonly used leg position, but that's because, like, I don't disagree with you, but because of the leg not being over the face, that's what allows Duncan to roll up here, which,
that's right. Yeah.
If Duncan's able to now, quickly extract his elbow, Steven would have lost that due to the leg not being over the face. But I love that adjustment as he rolls through here and inverts, and that's going to set him up to put him on his back. Had me pretty stuck, which is a kick out of it to go to the triangle. Yeah. Which was a solid transition. Like this is what we talk about when we say arm bars and triangles are, so closely related that you often want to attack. If you're not getting one, you want to attack the other. And then you pulls that leg out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he keeps the left leg where it is.
Yep. So now as Duncan rolls up into that, I love that little scoop of the knee behind the head.
Yep.
Which is gonna put him deeper into the triangle.
Yep.
Little hand assist on the foot. And then now, this is cool because this is a triangle. Like we'll call it a it's not even a front triangle because he's not I mean, you guys understand why. But the thing about this is his shin is across the neck. His knee is in front of Duncan. Whereas in a standard triangle, that wouldn't be the case. Like the knee would almost be like behind, like more in line with the back. But because of that hip position, that gives Steven an attack on the arm, right? The Americana, which is, I think we alluded to it last week, but that was how Gordon finished Kyle Bame. That, yeah. So that Americana attack with the hips behind, where you're really finishing it with hip pressure, that's how they ended up ending it there, right? Duncan had, he had his arm bent. It wasn't like a hyperextended elbow. It looks like it was more of a lock on the shoulder. So really good variety of attacks there. Having to modify Steven, having to modify his approach as Duncan threw some defense at him. Now we got Ronnie putting on some, taking a little early of a high step there, but doing good, keeping Cole's knees pointed away from her. She tries to settle into a pin. A little eager on that though. She's now stepped up into Cole's side guard with his knee and elbow connected.
She's very confident in that position, and so yes, I think I would have advised to put the knee in the belly, right, and try and drive over nice and heavy into a solid mount. But I know what she's going for here.
Mm-hmm.
And she is kind of getting into a leg ride position to where she can start hitting one of her favorites, which is going to be that guillotine threat to pass guard here. All right, so now she's starting to work the knee on belly.
There's a round.
Yeah.
But that was good. Right at the end there, you could see from side controls, she was really focused on getting the far side underhook. So Cole's got his arms up, and she recognizes that as an opportunity to set up her underhook and the crossface. Well, actually, really a double underhook, because both of Cole's elbows are above his head or above his shoulders.
I think it's a very solid. This is a very good positioning battle that she's fighting here, and she's doing it very well. Oh, I'm about to get my ass handed to me.
Yeah, Gavin chains together some really, really solid attacks. Oh, and Braden's with Ronnie. Quick transition to the back.
Yep.
Vicious double. What's up with Steven and Danny here? Looks like Danny almost to a body lock. I guess he just takes it down. Okay. We got Cole and Pat. All right, Gavin. Looks like Gavin's pretty comfortable with Irimiyashi.
Ring in. Watch this. Like, boom.
Hell yeah.
I love to see that. It felt so tight. Very good. You know, like it was solid.
And yeah, for you guys, for the walkers, because Braden was working this on me too, I believe. I want you guys to keep in mind, this is a great position when you're on your shoulders, entering to it the way Gavin is right now. If you take your knees and point them this way, you have a sweep, typically. If you point your knees in the other direction, you have heel exposure into a heel hook. So again, I'm not advising you to do that based on whatever competition you may be preparing for. But just remember, one side out away from the body is a sweep, out across the body or in across the body, you have a submission exposure.
He's digging for the straight ankle, but I'm bearing weight down on my ankle, so it's hard for him to make his grip.
He switches legs. Nice.
He's switching straight to that leg. I was like, go, go, go. Yeah. Like he knew exactly what to do.
Nice.
Takes me down again. Solid positioning.
Checking in with Danny and Pat. I don't think they had any major. Okay. Meanwhile, Cole is on. So Cole's got a Kimura grip, but he's across on like the far side of the body. So he's not really going to be able to finish the Kimura from there. From where Cole's at, I would have liked to have seen him set up with an underhook there with his left arm. I mean, could he have? Okay, so this is working from his double overhook position. He doesn't get the sweep, and that's kind of a downside of that. If Pat manages to stuff it, so with Cole flat on his back now, working from double overhooks, if he doesn't get that sweep, he automatically basically gives up the underhook, which will make it very easy to get put on his back. Go ahead.
So what I would advise for Cole here, he's very fixated on that far arm, right? And I understand why, but he also needs to, like, you have clamp guard available to you, right? So Pat's right arm is in danger. For as far as it's reaching, he has a very solid underhook on that side. But look at where Cole's hips are.
Mm-hmm.
Cole's hips are very much extracted from underneath Pat.
Yeah.
So if Cole were to take his left arm, give a strong overhook on Pat's right arm, right, and then be able to use his right arm as Cole's right arm as a post, he can start creating distance and looking for things like triangles. He can try and do a technical stand-up kind of ish, right, and lay down some really strong whizzer pressure on the shoulder and get up into a front headlock position. There's a lot of options from this.
Yeah.
There are not a lot of options for the left arm over top of the head and shoulder here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good call. Gavin taking you over. Dang, son.
Yeah, straight into the arm lock.
Nice. Yeah, good spinning armbar. And yeah, Cole, I hope you can see, as long as, like, when you're reaching up for this Kimura, as long as Pat's head is in the equation there, like in front of your chest, the Kimura won't work. Like, you're going to have to get his head, behind your body. Right here, you might be able to get it now. Certainly, I wouldn't say now, but since he's past your guard. But you're going to have to get the head out of the way. Anytime someone shoots for that Kimura on me from bottom, I just focus on keeping my head right on their center line, and it makes it pretty much impossible for them to get it. What did Gavin do? Oh, dang.
Kimura.
Speaking of, see how he sets it up. So yes, case in point, Gavin attacks the arm where, your head is no longer an impediment to his sit up here.
And check out how he sets it up too. So he sits back and he's like trying to think inside of closed guard, right? So he locks up closed guard, and then he basically gets a double collar tie on my head, right, or Muay Thai clinch on my head, and he's trying to think, and then he passes my head with his left, and then he passes my head off and then shoots over to my right shoulder.
Yeah, and I like that he gets out on the angle here instead of staying underneath you. Another spot where people kind of lose a great opportunity. They fall right to here, and if Gavin stopped here, probably wouldn't be in much of a threat. But you can see he's already starting to invert his leg here and pull his knee. He'll pull his knee underneath you as he starts to go off to the side.
I couldn't pass. I couldn't do anything. I was completely stuck there.
That was good.
Yeah, that was a solid Kimura.
Meanwhile, Braden has Ronnie in a another scissor strangle over here under the chat. Let me see how he got there. So he's in He's got like side control, but Rani's on her side. She's not really pinned. Okay, he jumps. They really like that dorsal Kimura position.
Yeah.
It's like the head pin. And if you boys have no idea what we're talking about with dorsal Kimura, let us know. We'll talk about it at the next open mat.
Yep.
Oh, Gavin, there we go. All right, got to give up that headlock.
Then he straight ankles me, if I remember right.
Braden straight ankles Ronnie. It's like they're twins or something. So Cole again working from that overhook, just about to take Pat over. Does he get it? Got to power up, power up. Nice. So that 4-point position that you're in with Gavin, I like the I like that he gets his legs tangled up here. This is, so I can't say I get to practice this position a lot. Like, it isn't frequently that any of our training partners go to a 4-point and you got to break them down. The main thing you want to work out here is don't try to send home the strangle. Remember that when we do this, we do it with a seatbelt grip. So we have an over and an under. The problem with that is Mike could essentially just like kind of kip his hips up and down, and your hooks only work in one direction, and that's it's not this direction. So your legs start to come loose, and then because you only have a loop around the neck and an arm, that loop can also come loose in this direction. So you basically just slide up the body as they kind of kip out of it with a pretty low energy move. The grip you want to take up top is a double underhook grip from here, where you can, if you think about it, you're not going to slide forward when you have double underhooks in. There are two impediments. You have two wedges behind the guy's triceps holding you in place. So from there, you can actually start to work on breaking their connection with the ground at their hands with those two underhooks, break them down to a shoulder, and then start to, once they're out of the 4-point position, you can reestablish your control with your seatbelt grip and all that. But if you find yourself here, think about immediately setting up double underhooks and then working from there. You can see at this point, Gavin's just going to slide off into nothing, right? Into a guard pass, essentially. Or into him having his guard passed is what I mean. So it can be a sketchy spot to find yourself, but double underhooks will typically save you. Ooh, Steven with a big step around. What was that?
Aoki.
No, it was an arm attack, I thought.
Oh, yeah. Oh, damn, okay, yeah.
Basically right into a cross Kimura. Yeah. That was slick.
That was.
See that one more time. So it was an armbar. Okay, you straighten the arm, I guess. So Danny's got.
That's a Choi bar.
Yeah, essentially, I guess from a standing position.
Yeah. You just invented a standing Choi bar.
Don't tell him that. We don't need his head getting bigger. So Steven had an underhook, but like a shallow underhook. Right? Because Danny has the overhook on him at the elbow here. That was slick, man. You could also hit Danny in the head with a glancing knee there if you wanted, and then just say it was an accident.
He'd do the same to you.
Gavin with the straight ankle lock, it looks like.
Yep. Again, look, he notices my knee is posted, and he shoots straight up into the Ashigarami here. He's using his left leg as a really good post to or a wedge rather, to keep me away, right? Like if I were to try and sit up into him, there's no way I would be able to do that. It's a very solid frame.
Yeah.
Shoulder down, extends away. It's a good finish.
I don't want him to get too lazy with this though, just because it's easily countered, you know? Like if I did this to you, you would immediately make me pay for it.
Yeah, from like a heel. Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I would say just put it inside the thigh, right? Like
to hide the hide the leg. Yeah.
And to step into your thigh to make it send him further down your leg, kind of like notch the heel into the right spot.
Right. Yeah, actually, now that you say that, I get caught there from with Luke counter leg locking me. So
right.
Yeah.
Danny almost with the ankle pick. Steven stuffing it. Braden's heel hooking Ronnie.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
Love it. Gavin hit another. Oh, okay. Gavin rolled you.
Yeah, he locked up a guillotine on me. He was giving me some hip bumps and then was able to come straight into the guillotine.
Dude, what is up with Steven and these step over arm bars tonight? So from Turtle, he hits one.
Yeah, he's been working on them.
Great. I wish I could see. I guess he just has another like hook on a like elbow to elbow grip on Danny's arm. What's great about that though is he's illustrating how you can make your upper body attacks so much more effective when you can employ your legs to help finish them. Like anytime, going for the Kimura, going for two of those, those two arm bars, he managed to extract the arm, I think, because his hamstrings were in contact with Danny's torso, and he was able to pull the arm out as a result.
See, I went over and asked everybody if they want to roll, and then they completely dodged me. But Steven stepped up. They're like, oh, no. Like,
oh, we're just drilling, bro.
We're just going to train.
Although I do think Cole and Danny end up just working leg locks in this round. At some point. So Pat has broken down Duncan's posture. Okay, Duncan's safe. Oh, man.
Very nice.
Great counter. I want to see how he got. So I guess just working from his clinch. See if he hits a snap down or just...
He pummels in, gets the Muay Thai clinch again. Stays inside position.
Goes for the trip.
There.
This is great though. Like he gets Duncan moving, and as soon as Duncan thinks his head's safe, he forgets about his lower body. Scores the trip. Was that your MO on Saturday, Steven? Was to prove to everybody that you're not just a leg locker? Now you just look like a guy who only attacks arms and legs. So now we got to see you start strangling everybody.
Yeah, why ignore 20% of the human body?
Yeah, that's fair. That's just crap, whatever. I said. Same, dog.
Yeah.
So this is another opportunity, I think, where Cole could stand to benefit from using the clamp guard, like you were saying.
His hips are in such a good position for it.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny that I don't think we've ever pointed that out, like because how much he likes to use the double overhooks from close guard, he should be ready, I think, to employ clamp guard. Like that's got to be something like just automatic for him. So Cole, take note of that. We could talk more on that. Meanwhile, Pat looking to rip arms off. Taking a page out of the Walker's book, coming around to the dorsal Kimura position. Scratching his head, thinking about it.
Gotta give the noggin scratch.
Yep.
Now he's got the figure 4 on the shoulder here, and he's using his left leg as the cross-face leg here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is I would say, a unique leg configuration for us, right? For what we normally see in our training room. But strong nonetheless, right? Like this is, I think, what we would say is a very strong arm lock position, right?
Yeah. I think one little freebie, Pat, that you can get out of this is with this leg, the one coming across, tuck your toes behind Duncan's head, like down to the mat. Reason being that will wedge his head in place to make it a little bit more difficult for him should he choose to hit a turning escape like the hitchhiker. Normally when we see the shoulder senkaku or shoulder triangle armbar position, traditionally I've seen guys tuck this leg behind the head. You know, this is really interesting. I'd kind of like to play with this position more because here you have a crossface, so it's gonna make it difficult for him to roll towards you. But you don't have something necessarily shutting down the turning escape. So if you tuck your toes behind his head, you might get the best of both worlds from that. And then the only thing, you know, I think an obvious question there is, well, if I tuck this foot behind the head, I no longer have a crossface, so couldn't he sit up into me? And like traditionally, I think most people would say, yeah, like when that position first kind of made its appearance. But I think you end up hanging so much of your weight through that triangle on the near shoulder that it actually makes it very, very difficult to sit up from there. I think it's gravity is more on your side when you do that, but we'll have to play around with that one and see if I'm right about that. For a bicep slicer to land in that position when the grip broke. Possibly. I don't know if Pat, if you're in the chat, man, speak up. I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever seen Pat really try to hit bicep slicers. I could see that. Yeah, like it almost. I see what you mean. Like right here where he crosses the ankles up. I could see that. That'll be a question for him. And if that was his intention, and Duncan didn't like the little crunch on his beach muscles, that may have worked exactly how he wanted. Yeah, good call, Pinball. Didn't even consider that.
Yeah, at the very least, it was a good setup into that arm lock.
Yeah.
Can we go back a few steps to where Cole did that big bridge? Right here. All right, so for Cole, if he's gonna watch, right? So you can see that he's taking his, I believe it's his left arm over top of Danny, giving him a huge bridge over top. He does not have an underhook here at all. Danny's in very good shape.
That's his right arm.
Oh, it's his right arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Left arm under the hip.
Left arm is under the hip. Okay. Either way, this still works. Oh, hang on. I think this was further. Does he take him over on this one? Can you play it through? Yeah, he winds up taking him through. So there was another bridge that he gave before this that I wanted to point something out.
Oh, okay.
Here. I think.
I believe so.
Play this out.
Like there, where he's trying to get to his knees?
Here. Yep, so you see how there's a gap in between Danny's knee and the mat on his left knee? So although Cole did not take Danny over, what he was able to do was create a space between Danny's left knee and the mat. And what I like to do in this position is where Cole's right knee is, I like to invert the knee and keep it there. And then as I come back in, I'm going to take my right knee inside of Danny's knee in order to pull myself into a butterfly guard. It's actually a very simple transition. So if his knee stays where it is here, he has the grip on the inside of Danny's knee. He should be able to push on the knee and then drive his knee to, drive Cole's knee to his own, belly, and slip his knee inside of Danny's and get into a butterfly guard.
Yeah, so Cole should be able to pull his right knee to his nose.
Yep.
Up behind Danny's calf, almost into like a waiter sweep position, right?
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Yes, just like in a waiter sweep position. Yes. And instead, he puts his foot flat on the mat and is gonna again go for some big bridges here. Now it winds up working out for him, but there's a lot of effort that goes into this type of a sweep, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into that, and I don't know. I would advise to go easier methods, such as trying to get my knees inside.
Yeah. Pat and Duncan, what just happened? Oh, they're just moving. Okay. And Danny to his Danny gets a reverse triangle. Looks like he caught Cole thinking.
So Cole was in that leg riding position and probably
just
didn't
about
even know it.
He stuck his leg through.
He did.
Whereas, so right here,
Yep.
you go ahead. You talk to this one. I think you're a little fresher on this stuff than I am.
Yeah. So essentially, what I would be, or what you should be looking to do here is using the left leg of Cole to staple the right leg of Danny. So Cole's knee, his left knee would come up behind the left knee of Danny here, and then it would go in between his legs, right? So like more towards Danny's head on the far side of the mat where we can't really see it.
Yeah.
And he would lay down like a shin pin on Danny's right thigh.
Rather than sticking the entire leg through.
Yes, exactly. Because if you stick your leg all the way through, you leave yourself open for leg locks there, right? Like you can get knee barred, you can get, like inverted heel hooks, all sort of stuff. But yeah, it was just he's right there in a lot of these spots here. We shore some of these things up, and his game's gonna skyrocket here shortly.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like he was tapping early on that too, given his recent neck issues.
No, we're all working on shit, right? Like it's
Yeah.
all part of the game.
Ooh, Braden getting violent.
Oof.
Let me slow that down. So it looked like Gavin goes in for a bit of a hip toss here, but Braden slips around behind him. Let's see. So like
Strong
Gavin,
collar guys. Love that.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, Gavin steps across here, and then that was a good reaction. Braden lowers his hips below Gavin's hips, so it's going to be damn near impossible for Gavin to elevate Braden and break his connection with the ground. And then with that that grip on the tricep, this is good. This is like some good wrestler kind of movement here. Completely watch his legs turn. So as he steps through, points his knees, he leads this whole turn, like turning with his knees.
Yeah.
Everything coming through the hips. And then turns over for top position. That was a good reaction.
That was. Oh. Overturn. Damn.
Yeah, what happened there? Sorry, I was watching you and Steven. Oh, yeah, okay. Little too elevated, yeah. Glad he didn't roll over his neck too bad.
Steven was pissing me off so bad. I was like, just give me the pass. Come on, let me pass your guard.
I mean, that's what I do, man. If I can't pass somebody's guard, I just ask nicely.
Just ask him nicely, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy, he won't even listen.
Looks like Gavin and Braden getting the same. It's like watching Danny and I roll when I try to take down Danny and he just re-rolls me and ends up on top. Like they're both very keen on getting the re-roll if they get taken down. So is that Danny and Ronnie and me and Braden? That little like reach around octopus guard thing.
Yep.
Try to sit out, get the hips under control, and try to turn out of it. I like that Braden's immediately trying to retain, either retain or recapture inside position with his legs.
Yep.
Like as I'm standing up, his guard's breaking. He's not waiting for waiting for an opportunity. He's trying to create them.
He stayed on that leg.
Yeah.
Nah, that's mine.
Yeah, he's a little bulldog.
Damn right.
Putting a bend in the knee, slips my heel. Yeah, I think I'm talking him through the, yeah. Oh, that was the straight ankle that we went over in class earlier. Is that, James, is that you and Steven up there? I think so.
I think so. Yeah, I was just trying to figure that out.
Is that a...
Rolling through for a leg entrance. Nope.
Oh, just about into a triangle.
Really caught him in the head.
What did Danny have on Ronnie there? I think he got a Kimura trap on her.
So what you're doing,
Hard to tell.
what you're doing to Braden here is the leg riding position. So this is maybe to elaborate a little bit on, kind of, right. You didn't get the full shin pin, but it kind of exemplifies, what I was talking about before. If Matt were to take his left knee and pin it down on the far side of the mat, like across Braden's right hamstring, this is where I was talking about, Cole, for where I would want you to start looking for, right? Like, this is a really strong opportunity for you to make people's lives miserable on bottom.
Yeah. I managed to just pin both legs there instead.
Yeah.
Good work getting the leg back in across. Put me back in guard. In A guard.
Yeah, I really like this leg pummeling by Braden here.
Yeah.
Very smooth.
So he got super close actually to a nasty little knee bar on me. Right here, he goes to roll through. And I was like, that's fine. But he kept rolling, and right here, like, it actually kind of hurt. I looked at his dad. I was like, uh-oh.
If he had a cup, it would have been all over.
Probably, yeah. All right, so what's James got? Or I think Steven has that. Okay. Were you guys just talking through a position? Oh, okay, I got you.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that really large reap, that really heavy reap. What are we calling that?
That Z-lock?
Z-lock. That's it. I keep forgetting.
So Danny finding himself in a really similar position here against Ronnie that Steven had against him. Trying to dig in real deep on this arm. I wonder, it's hard to tell if he's utilizing his legs much to extract that. Like, I don't see him, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't want to, like, take anything away from him here. Ronnie's leaning herself into him, so he might not be able to get the full extension he wanted.
Braden was really sad that you didn't top to that knee bar, Matt.
it was scary for a second. No lie. So I had to hit him with the flying armbar. Gets out of the armbar and immediately is past my guard, taking control.
Man. You can't, like, it's hard to match. Oh, straight into the scissor. Yeah. Oh.
Just about a few different configurations here. So again, that side triangle right here. Let's see if you could get. All right, this is gonna be tough just because I think my body weight. Where's his left leg? Is it? His left leg's underneath me. Okay. So let me see if I could get us there from the setup. So if you stepped, it looks like your left leg is probably trailing closer to my body now. If you brought it up behind my head, like right here, then as we fell over, it wouldn't be underneath me. Like, we could see the left leg's kind of trapped under my body. I'd like to see it right here under my head, and then your right leg would, like, stomp to the mat between my arm and my ribs, and it would gather my arm up. So you'd pull my arm up over my head, and from there you could set up a side triangle. And with that, you have the threat of a Kimura that you're working on as well right here. That's why those two those options work so well together. And you could fold it in with your side scissor position, because when you try it, let's see, for a second, oh no, yeah, it's not going to be a good example. If you go to hit a side scissor on me, I'm most likely going to use my free hand to try to dig into your ankles and open that up. When my hand is attacking your feet to open those crossed ankles, you can gather my arm because it's vulnerable. My elbow's away from my ribs. So you can play those positions together really well. When your side triangle isn't working, you focus on your Kimura. When your Kimura is not working, you can focus on the side triangle. And there's even like a really, really awesome, super sneaky Americana there that I could show you. But yeah, you guys are playing this position so much. I think it'd be a really, really easy thing for you to add into your arsenal. One of my favorite positions, I almost never go for the armbar. Always chasing triangle. Yeah, man, I totally agree.
It's a strong triangle too. It's so sneaky.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can really take your time in trying to set it up. Like as you, I know I need like all the help I can get in tightening it, just because my legs are short. But it's very difficult for them to roll into you, roll towards you, roll away from you. So you can kind of take your time and get a very, very tight triangle cinched up from there. And if they're just big, broad shoulders, for your short legs, you just work the Kimura the whole time. Threaten a wrist lock, like get them to open their grip up. Hit the Americana on the far side arm, not the arm that you're attacking the Kimura on. There's so much to do there.
Dude, that was a nasty club by Duncan. Did you see that?
No. Where is he at? Did it start the match?
Yeah.
Good. Screw James in his neck.
Or did I just imagine that?
We are also on like 1 1/4 speed, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like right around here.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a little bear swipe. You just kind of like knocked him over. All right, Gavin's.
Yeah,
what was that?
I think the 1 1/4 speed made it look worse than it actually was. Yeah.
So Gavin, I think I was talking you through this at the time, but just because since we can look at it live, this is what I'm talking about from turtle position. When you want to break somebody down, yeah, like I don't want you guys stepping over to get your hooks in. I want you to focus on whatever side you're on. So you're on my right side now. I want your right leg to drive in between my elbow and my knee in towards my hips. Not across my body, but in towards my hips. If you're on the left side, you're going to drive your left leg in between my elbow and my hip, my elbow and my knee, and in towards my hips. It's so much easier to penetrate under a tight turtle position with a knee than it is to penetrate with a foot. It's so much more awkward to try to get your foot in. So right now, you drive your knee. You can drive your knee in. I think I'm talking you through it. We'll see if you, yeah, there you go. Start to execute it. And then there's some other like finishing touches you could do. But that's a concept I really want you guys to focus on. I see you guys get your opponents in turtle position all the time. I want you breaking them down efficiently and effectively. And then just there, once we broke down to a side, you got me down to a hip. That's where you can just extend. I'm telling you right now, you can just extend that bottom leg and it swims right around into a hook. So now you got one hook in so much more easily and without the awkward attempt of like sticking a foot in first. It's probably the number one, like it's probably the first thing I attempt when I'm dealing with turtle position. And Braden and Steven getting after it. And Luke and Pat, let's see if they have another round like they had a few weeks ago. Gavin again. Okay, so this is cool. So Gavin is pointing his knees in the opposite direction now. We saw him do this with you where he got the sweep, where he took his knees out away from the body. Now he's taking his knees in across my body, and that gives him heel exposure.
Yep.
But I'm not going to tap to that.
James always abides by the principle of, if I can get up, I'm just getting up.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to absolutely control James.
Yeah.
Who is Danny manhandling? Oh, it's Justin. Okay.
Trying to pass over for the triangle here.
Oh, yeah, let's see if he gets that. I think it's pretty much dead to rights on the triangle.
Yeah.
Looks like he's letting Justin work. Okay, there we go. Want to look at something with Gavin here. I think this is it. So, yeah. When somebody is on my back and I'm escaping, I have so much opportunity to attack legs. I either try to turn over and get to a top position, like get into close guard, especially if I'm tired. But if not, as I get my back to the mat, so Gavin is getting his back to the mat here. What I want you to think about, Gavin, is this leg that has to like hop over you in order for me to secure mount is very vulnerable through this transition. So if you took your right hand, posted on my knee, and kind of just gave it a little bit of a stiff arm and pushed it away from my body, you're going to isolate it to a point where you can pull your left knee in and work that exact Ashi entrance that you and Braden have been doing all evening or all afternoon. So when you're escaping back, I don't want you to just think, okay, I got to get safe. I want you to think, how can I immediately counterattack him as I escape? And that'll be, since you guys have an affinity for some legs, that could be an easy thing for you to add in. Let's see this armbar.
Yeah, slick transition straight into the armbar.
Nice. Meanwhile, Braden taking Stevens back. Braden, don't be lazy with that bottom leg.
It's like he heard you.
That's what I'm talking about. And yeah, if you guys are ever going against, opponents who you can get body triangles on, set up body triangles. Like, don't just rely on hooks. So right here, actually, with Gavin and I, here I'm escaping the back. Gavin goes to step over. I post my hand on his knee. I create a little bit of space. And I'm trying to pull a leg up. I pulled the wrong leg up here. The wrong leg up for the leg entrance I was talking about. But puts me into a waiter sweep position, gives me a chance to create space and get safe. But that's what I'm talking about, man. So as you put yourself in my position, as they start to come up and over, focus on that leg that has to step over you and keep it isolated from their body. And you could immediately threaten them with that. And then just hit a fun little double Kouchi. There's this.
James has a nice step into the cross Ashi position with Duncan.
Let's go back a little further. So Duncan working his high knee shield. Awesome. Gets the hook.
He's got the scoop grip.
He just stepped all the way around his body.
Yeah.
Really nice.
He lost the secondary leg. James and I were talking about this a little bit earlier today. So I think we've solved that problem.
Oh, look, I'm telling Gavin exactly what I was just saying. Okay, cool.
On Saturday's fundamental no-gi class, what was the name of what we learned?
We went over straight ankle locks.
Yeah.
It was a straight ankle lock, and then it was it was kind of the straight ankle variation where you don't have the wrap around the ankle that Luke showed. I don't have a good concise name for that. It's just a straight ankle variation. And then I think we went over an outside heel hook, didn't we? For the finish, for the last move.
Yeah. We did. Yes.
Yeah.
All from it's called Ashigurami or leg entanglement position.
Yeah. And Akbar, welcome to the chat.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. Feel free to tell us which one of our students you are, Akbar. I don't force any of you to dox yourselves, but that way, if we see you on camera and stuff, we can speak to you directly and point stuff out for you.
Yeah. And you can tell us in class. You don't have to tell us online. It's fine.
But then we'll probably just immediately out you on camera anyway.
Yeah, we'll probably forget.
So really good example of another good example of Gavin just like fighting for this inside leg position, going right to his leg entanglement. Assad. Oh, okay, what's up, Zane?
Hey, Zane.
Yeah. That was the straight ankle lock. I would practice the first one that we did, where you're actually holding. You know, you have like that grip around the ankle, not the one where we were just kind of pushing back with it. That would be a good one for you to practice. And I think let's give the boys credit. Braden also, let's see what happened with this armbar. Gets Steven rolling away as Steven clears the arm. Nice. So I'd like to work on that.
Yeah, no problem, Zane. Anytime, man.
Yeah, of course, dude. The some of the grip breaks here. It looks like maybe you and Steven are talking about it. The grip breaks for arm bars are going to be an important thing for you to work on. Might be, I don't know. You know, you might have an easier time with it with some of the kids you're going to go against. You know, I wouldn't expect you to break Steven's grip necessarily if he's really trying hard. But we can get some good techniques in your tool belt for you to attack those. Joe came at me really strong here with some great chain attacks on stand up. So immediately, like I go for that little kind of just bugging his feet with that outside sweep, and he's having none of it, and immediately attacks my planted leg. Let's go back a little further. So I go to reach. I'm just kind of being lazy with it, and Joe makes me realize I can't be lazy with it. So, of course, lose my place. So he goes in, attacks my foot there, and then immediately snaps me down, hits a kind of a sumigeshi. Gets behind me.
That was a nice exchange.
Yeah, that was a really aggressive, really well chained together series of attacks. I ended up taking. Say again.
I said you won the underhook, which gives you the ability to take top position.
Yeah. As he goes to get behind me, I kind of sneak my hips out, just keeping him in front of me. And that's a really simple, like that's just a simple part of my guard. I remember just kind of like discovering that at blue belt, like why we shrimp with, gusto every once in a while. Joe is kind of pinning my legs here. He's riding up my hips. He's about to mount. But now as he goes to hop around, notice watch Joe alone. He makes a big move that should get him behind me. but I move my hips with him and beyond him, so he ends up still in front of me. That's where I win my underhook. And then it's a matter of getting to my knees and I could wrestle up. A lot of times when you think you're getting your guard passed, a big shrimp can save the entire thing and just reset you. Victoria taking it to Danny. Cool. Victoria using some foot pummeling to get her leg free.
Yep.
And now I don't think she and Justin have been around for Mount Week yet.
We didn't we just finish up? Yeah, I think she.
Or was she? Yeah, maybe they have. Yeah. How do you spell the name of the sweep trick we learned on Saturday's class? I heard you say it. I don't know how to spell the sweep we did, or the standing. Let's see, the standing.
It's just
what takedown did we do?
An ashi. We call it like an ashi sweep.
Yeah. You could. Yeah, it's like man, if you wanted to like, if you're trying to look for like videos online, you could call it like a single leg X takedown.
It's like what Braden just did on me, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah. If you want to get Japanese with it, you could call it an ashigarami sweep. That should get you in the right, or put you in. Let's see that. So wait, so Gavin hit you with, or I'm sorry, Braden hit you with something?
Braden, yeah. So Braden.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Zane. So this is it.
Yeah.
This one right here.
Yep. So look at how high his hips come up here. So I'm doing all I can to push the ankles down, but he's able to engage his core and get his hips up really nice and high to my hips.
Yeah.
Takes me right over and hits the straight ankle lock. So that was exactly the same thing as what Luke taught on Saturday's class, example number 1.
Ankle pick.
Yep, hit a nice ankle pick on me.
And actually, before I give him full credit for that, I want that hand here, not here. Remember, get your pinky to the mat all the way to the end of the lever. Ignore California roll. Saying that's James being silly. And then
yeah, so see, my head is separated from my arm.
Sucker.
Yep. My head is completely separated. I'm leaving my left hand low, and my head is towards the right. And Braden sees that immediately, and somehow he knew how to do this, and he just dives straight over top of the shoulder.
He like front flipped right past you.
Yep. He comes right up into that dorsal Kimura position.
Hell yeah.
And about breaks my shoulder.
Yeah. He had to avenge that black belt who savaged it at the competition.
Yeah, Josh, that's the rolling Kimura. That's exactly right.
Oh, dude, then you would hate the twins, Pinball.
These kids are monsters.
Yeah, we recently bumped them up. I mean, I'm pretty sure they still do the kids class. But we were like, all right, you guys are wrecking people in competition, so let's get you some more advanced training.
Look at that. That was a deep half sweep. It's a roll through.
Comes out the back.
He's trying to come up and then boom.
Okay.
Like, all right. I guess I'm going over.
Yeah, Braden, one thing you can do here, I'd like you to add this in, It's a little detail, but when you dive through here, I want you to notice, you know, Mike's rolling here like his right arm could have based out a little bit more and possibly shut this down. A way to make this a little bit higher percentage is I want this leg hooking into Mike's right leg in this case. So right here in this position, I want your left leg stepping over in between Mike's legs. And then now when you hit that roll through, you take that leg with you as you turn. And that gets Mike's legs and hips moving just as much as the rest of just as much as you start to hit that roll. It'll make it a lot higher percentage. So the Imanari roll is oh wait, hold on, let's see. Oh, only Kizuki wrestle on Tuesday. Oh, I got you. It's all right, man. Adulki sucks. I don't even want to do it, but I do it anyway. Just kidding, Justin. I know you're listening. Yes, Imanari roll is totally different from the single leg X takedown. Imanari is one of those flashy, cool moves that, like, they're great examples of it working. It's absolutely a legitimate move. Not one I want you to get too wrapped up on when you're starting out. We can go over that anytime you want. But the single leg X sweep, takedown, just the position in and of itself is going to be a bit more of use to you, I think. See, I kind of forgot about it, but Joe and I had a nice little battle there the whole time. He was, where were we? I don't want to go through the whole thing again, but yeah, after that initial takedown sequence of his, I was like, all right, I'm not gonna take this one lightly. He's out for blood. So Cole immediately was trying to pull me over him to get my hips above his hips. That leads into just about every conceivable leg entrance you could think of.
We want you to Imanari.
Yeah, no, I would love for you to know the move. It just,
yeah, man. Yeah.
Like I said, it's one of those moves that is compared to a single leg X entrance, not quite as utilitarian. Yeah, well, I'll show it to you, man. There's nothing super advanced about it. It looks flashy. It's a fun move to hit. I try to hit him every once in a while. Makes you look like you know how to break dance.
Yeah.
So here I'm trying to work on pinning Cole and working to a triangle. I think I just lost his I lost the underhook there, so I had to settle for going to mount instead, which isn't a terrible trade-off. This, however, is a terrible trade-off.
Yeah, it's definitely flashy.
I think. Do you remember the 10th Planet guy? Was it Marvin Castile? I think, who had like the most textbook Imanari roll. Like, it was at an old, like, I don't know if it was Polaris or Metamoris event or something.
Oh, I don't know.
I think.
I'm sure.
Look up. Sorry. I'm gonna see if that's his name. I'll give you a good. Yeah, it's an Imanari roll by Marvin Castile. It's like the first thing that comes up when you Google his name. You could look at, yeah, Google that, and you could look at his entrance. He had like the cleanest one ever hit. It's actually a really nice highlight. But I don't think I've seen him in any competitions in a long time. He's a 10th planet guy. So Cole's laying on really, really heavy pressure. Yeah. Someone, I think, didn't like one of the Rotolos go against Imanari recently
Yes.
in a grappling match? That's a good match to watch. Or no, maybe it was Mikey. I think it was Mikey Musumeci.
I know Mikey did.
Yeah.
But I thought one of the Rutolos did too. I could be, yeah. But I know Mikey did.
So right now with Cole, I don't think he has an underhook on me. Yeah, he's got his overhooks. I'm trying to hide my arms so that he can't underhook me. And his hips are getting pretty high, and all of his weight is down over my head. So he's like trying to smother me here. What I'm looking for is the opportunity to get my knees up the middle. I guess I captured a leg here. No, no, not quite. All right, he's still technically mounted, but I'm pulling my knees up through the middle. And I accidentally...
I remember watching this. You pulled your knees into your chest.
Yeah.
And you were able to get in butterfly hooks.
Yeah, and I accidentally hit him in the bits, and so that's why he's not fighting too hard right now, which I didn't even realize, and I felt super bad about when he said I got him. That's why I'm like, we paused there for a second. I'm like, take your time. He's like, no, keep going. I'm fine. But that was how I ended up getting the sweep, and then working to get my leg free, all kind of standard from there. I forgot how this roll ended. Okay, so Braden and Gavin, here we go. This is the side triangle position. So I want you to notice I've got a Kimura on the top arm. My legs go around the arm. I'm fully capturing his arm in between my legs. So his arm and his head are trapped. There's one arm in, one arm out. That's a recipe for a triangle. When you hit it like this, that's what we call a side triangle or a Yoko Senkaku. Cole's doing a good job framing against my butt here, making it hard for me to actually sink the triangle in. Just like any real triangle, I would want my ankle behind my knee. And then from there, I can start to actually lay on the strangling pressure. You can notice at the same time, I still have my Kimura that I could work with. When I am not directly attacking the Kimura, my top arm is usually attacking at his wrist or pulling at his elbow to pull it further across his body so that I could tighten my triangle up. But that's just a brief introduction to that position since I've been saying it relentlessly. But since I couldn't get the triangle on him, again, short legs, broad shoulders, I will focus more on the Kimura, which is what I'm doing here. I'm switching up. And now I'm in a Kimura position. And I get to tap there. Which apparently he tapped early on, but I didn't hear it, so I felt super bad about that too. Tap loud, tap proud. Yeah. Early and often.
Thanks, man. No, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, the Rutolos, they are a force, man. They're a force. I haven't seen much on the on social media about them calling out Gordon lately. I don't know if it's because he was on vacation or what, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
That'd be a fun one. I mean, I kind of know who's gonna win, but
yeah,
I would absolutely watch it. Got a little too overzealous in taking Steven's back here. Actually, you know what? I don't think I did. I think Steven was just ready for it. And notice as I take my left leg behind his, he's ready and he rolls through and enters into a knee bar, which I try to roll out of and get to a safer position. Is that Gavin and Luke?
Yep.
enjoy it while you can, boys, because when you get to a certain size and age, Luke's not gonna have any sympathy for you. And that size is about 5'5" and 150 pounds. He doesn't care about you anymore. So that was a really, really long extraction of my leg. Steven was so deep on that knee bar initially that I had to immediately hand fight. There was no counter attacking on my part, at least that I saw. I tried to wrench in that guillotine so hard. And now notice as I'm going around the back, I'm a little bit more tentative about my leg position with him after that initial attack. And that's the great thing about having these strong options. Your opponents are going to, be a little bit more scared when you show them that you have an answer for what they're doing.
I want to call out a difference between the first turtle entrance that you had on him and then this one. This one, I want you to look at Matt's knee position and his body position. So you'll see Matt go to where he's going head to head with Steven and trying to insert his knee to where he'll actually switch to look down away from Steven, to the right hand side. So his leg steps up, but when he starts to insert the knee, he faces Steven's butt. This makes it, even if his right leg was in between Steven's legs, it makes it almost impossible for Steven to roll through and capture a leg before Matt's able to take the back.
Yeah, whereas before I was probably a bit more in line, our spines were probably a bit more in line.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that happens when you're coming around and trying to take somebody's back, right? Is that just happens. This time you were paying, it looks like more attention, I guess, to it because you were worried about getting the leg entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny that we can't see Danny teaching Victoria right now, and it looks like he's just army crawling along the mat at the bottom. Yeah, of course, Dane. That's what we're here for. Don't ever hesitate to ask about any techniques or anything you guys want to go over at class. Even whatever flashy stuff you guys see on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. We'll tell you why it sucks and why you shouldn't do it and what you should do instead. Countering the leg lock attempt, but Steven slips his knee. Right, so after Steven's amazing attempt of a knee bar on me, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a knee bar on him. So I start squeezing everything I have into this. The knee is just about to slip out, and I'm putting my entire body into trying to get this finish. And when I say entire body, I mean everything, including my calves, which decide to simultaneously cramp up. I don't think I've ever had to stop a match from cramping. Ever. To the point where I made fun of Cole every time, confident that it would never happen to me. And
you've made fun of me 5 minutes earlier for my back spasming.
That's because you were dodging me, and then you decided to roll with Braden.
Yeah.
Who's even more of a savage than I am. So this whole dude, I could not. You guys don't understand. I couldn't get anywhere out of fetal position. Sitting up, where I this hurt. That hurt. I couldn't do it. And my calves are still. I feel like I ran a marathon. Game fights on December 2nd. Oh yeah, I think I saw that one. Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Man, pinball. So pinballs have the same that. That's really funny that you said that because Danny, for the longest time, was not able to do triangles because of his calves either cramping or he would actually have pain in his calves from trying to heel down and try and fit the triangles. It's crazy.
Yeah, and so let's see if I do it here. I don't know if I do, because this is a detail in triangles that I don't think I have fully adopted, like, or made automatic. The pulling the toes back, like pulling your toes to your nose in the triangle with both legs, pulling your, or in this case, pulling your toes back towards your knee, is something that I know like Craig Jones was super big on, and some I think it kind of filtered out into the community, but like that is, pulling your toes back is a relaxed calf, and I think that a lot of guys, like, yeah, they would crank down and then they would just squeeze their legs and like hope for the best, but pulling your toes back instead relaxes those calves, and for whatever reason it seems to be a bit of a force multiplier on those triangles.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zane, don't ever worry about that. You're not. That's like half of what we do at Open Mat. So, 5 milligrams at pink salt. Yeah, and it's weird, man. I don't think I'm like deficient in any electrolytes or anything. I'm not like eating bananas all the time, but like I don't avoid salt. I'm normally pretty well hydrated. It was just like, it's like when you flex a muscle so hard that it cramps up, regardless of whatever's in your diet. I think that's just what I did. It was just an unfortunate occurrence, but I made it better by getting the shoulder crunch sweep on Steven, which even Danny right here, Danny said, he's like, Steven's impossible to shoulder crunch sweep. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm pretty happy right now if that's the only thing I get out of that roll. But you could see from mount, immediately my focus is getting the elbow above the shoulder line. I get into mount, his elbow's down, starts to get a little weak, snap it up above his arm or above his shoulder line, and I keep it there. Start looking for the second one, because I just want to hit S mount on Steven for once and not get shucked over, but today was not that day. He's not used to doing triangles from mount. It's like a grass. Yeah, I mean, if it helps you, great. I don't. It's what you do before class or what you eat before it happens that really matters. But again, I think it was just like, it was just me being stupid, and that's why you don't strain your way through moves and like put all your muscle into moves. You end up hurting yourself like that. If my hips were more, if they were closer to Steven's hips, that knee bar could have gone differently. He would have had to fight or defend it differently, and I wouldn't have had to strain my body so hard to try to rip something I didn't have. Cole working to a very similar position. I think we saw him do this in the last stream.
We did.
Where he's gonna take him. Oh yeah, all right. Steven gets his arms back. Never mind. Would have taken him over Steven's right or left shoulder.
Now Steven has a head and arm here. This is a very strong passing position.
And there he goes. Cole's working to. All right, he's got his knee in. Great.
He did a really good job of getting his elbows in.
Yep. And
like splaying the legs of Steven here, and then getting his left knee in. It was really. I was happy. I was just sitting there watching.
Yeah, I mean, this is an elbow escape. Like the fundamental position of that is inside elbow position against the knee, right? Which he immediately sinks in, and then look how easily he gets his knee through, and now he's in on a leg. I'd like to see him keep rolling through that if he wants to hit something. Steven gets the counter, though. Nice.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, take it easy, boys.
And thank you for the subscription.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Working on Spider Guard, De La Hiva. Luke said you can do it in no-gi, but I don't see how it would work, if that makes sense. Yeah, Spider Guard in particular is kind of like gi specific, just because it's normally predicated on having cuff grips at the wrist, which you obviously can't do in no-gi, and just having a grip on the wrist, it's kind of easy to roll out of that. So you're not going to work Spider Guard traditionally in no-gi the way you do in gi. De La Hiva, on the other hand, does work. I think it's a little bit more limited. Like, you're going to get more out of it in gi for the same reason. You have much more grip ability than you do in no gi. I guess you gotta just that straight arm extended, put some good pressure on it. That is pretty nasty.
But De La Hiva in no gi, Zane, that the grip configuration is different. When you have, say I have my left leg hooking around the outside of somebody's right leg, my left hand, instead of it being up at the lapels or at the sleeve, is actually going to be down at the ankle and trapping the ankle and pulling it in underneath my butt, basically. So the grip configuration is different with the hands, but the leg configuration is the same.
No. As far as someone has baggy clothes and their jacket or shirt is easy to grab, if that's the case, I'm not doing jiu-jitsu and I'm in a fight, and I'm not going to be fighting from my back, and I'm not going to be caring about grips. I mean, to an extent I would. I wouldn't opt to play De La Hiva in a fight, per se. If I got put there, great. I'm sorry, I just want to see how this 50-50 shootout ended with Cole and Steven here. I guess they just decided to go start from 50-50 and go live. Steven spin around to the knee bar. Cool. I was thinking to try Spider with Mercy grips. I mean, tell us how it goes. Tell me how it goes. I'm not going to do it, but you can go for it. Yeah, of course. Cool. Well, good stuff tonight. Thanks for all the messages and all the interaction. We always love that. So, yeah, good stuff. For class this week, be on the lookout in your email. Luke's going to send something out. I think Monday and Tuesdays, regular schedule. And no, James, I could 100% see you actually trying that, and I want no part of it. You and Steven can have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Obviously, Wednesday or Thursday class is going to be canceled. I don't know about Friday. Luke will have all that sorted out. So be on the lookout for an email about it. We don't want anybody showing up to class with nobody there. Take it easy, Joe. Thanks for tuning in, man. And yeah, as always, you can subscribe here. We really, really appreciate the support. You can do it with your Twitch Prime. You could do it with your parents' credit card, whichever makes you happy. Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, class. We'll have class tomorrow and Tuesday.
Monday and Tuesday. Thursday's off. Don't know about Friday yet. And then Saturday's still good. Is that right?
I think maybe.
Yet.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
We'll have to wait for the message from Luke.
Yeah, and no stream on Wednesday. I will not be in town, so we will see you guys possibly Sunday or after the break. So we hope you all enjoy the time you have with your family and vacation from work and school and all that good stuff. Follow us here, subscribe, follow us over on YouTube. You could support us at coffee.com/MOBJJ. What else? Yeah, I don't know. Get to class, make the most of this week, get some training in before you guys are on break, And before you do all that, trim your nails and do your laundry, and don't be stinky. And we will see you guys very soon. Take it easy.
Later. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, back at you, Zane.